I want to thank the Asociación Mexicana de Estudiantes de Ingeniería Agrícola for being here. It's a pleasure for me to introduce a conservation leader who has an honorable professional trajectory, Sandra Rodriguez from the International Union of Forest Research Organization, who will be talking about the role of IUFRO in forest education.
Mi nombre es Sandra Rodriguez-Piñeros y en esta ocasión estoy representando a la Unión Internacional de Organizaciones de Investigación Forestal.
Good morning. On behalf of the International Union of Forest Research Organization, we want to thank you for inviting us to this very important event. Unfortunately, our president couldn't be here, but I am representing the organization.
IUFRO es la única organización internacional que reúne a científicos en el área forestal a nivel mundial. Tiene 110 países miembros, los cuales albergan aproximadamente 15,000 científicos del mundo.
Our mission is to advance in research excellence and also to provide solutions to benefit the forest and, of course, as my previous speaker mentioned, to people who live in the forest and the different stakeholders. Next, please. And our vision is, of course, to create a global network for forest science and also to be involved in policy making around the world, which is the most important activity we have done in the previous years.
Dentro de la IUFRO yo estoy coordinando un grupo de trabajo que es en conjunto con la IFSA, con la Asociación Internacional de Estudiantes Forestales, y nosotros nos enfocamos a buscar cuáles son los retos que tiene la educación forestal en este momento.
How is the IUFRO? How IUFRO works? We have our board, our council, and also our divisions. We have I don't think you can say that we have 9 divisions, and all the divisions have working groups within the divisions, approximately 10 working groups per division, and even more. All the divisions are based in different aspects of forestry, like silviculture, forest products, technology, forest health, social aspects of forest and forestry, which is the Division 6, and forest economics and policy, and some others. We also have the task forces, special programs, the GFIS and the GFIP. How we disseminate knowledge. We work as I mentioned before, working groups. Each division has a coordinator and a deputy coordinator, and each working group has a coordinator and a deputy coordinator. And we together coordinate symposium, forums, congresses at the national, international, and regional level. So that's why it's a network. In all aspects of forestry, as I mentioned before.
La IUFRO y la IFSA tienen una relación estrecha desde hace muchos años. Muchos de los investigadores de la IUFRO fueron en algún momento miembros de IFSA. Entonces, digamos que hay una sinergia muy interesante y una cercanía entre las dos instituciones. Nosotros lo que queremos es que los estudiantes participen más activamente en nuestras actividades, se involucren en las actividades que tiene la IUFRO, que en el futuro van a ser los futuros científicos y que ellos pues vayan como caminando ese terreno de la investigación y del acercamiento con quienes hacen las políticas a nivel global, regional y nacional.
In terms of the task force, I'm sorry, I didn't show well. The task forces are created for new topics about forestry, and they are created for every 2 years. At this time, we have 9, and our task force is the task force on forest education. But before I go to explain the task force on forest education, I would like to introduce you to a message from our president.
Hello, IFSA friends. What a pleasure it is for me to be able to share a few minutes with you today. You all love forests and trees as I do, and something I think about very often is if trees were giving out Wi-Fi signals, we'd be planting them all over the place. Rather, they only produce oxygen, and that's something to think about, a rather sobering thought. We need to do a lot more for the forests and trees of our world. I think you all know how much I'd really like to have been able to be with you at IFSS this year. It just wasn't possible. But I have, of course, IUFRO has the very special privilege of having Dr. Sandra Rodriguez with you. Sandra, from the IUFRO side, coordinates the IUFRO-IFSA Task Force on Forestry Education, and I know that you'll all enjoy engaging with her. And Sandra, if you're listening to this or watching this short video, thank you very much from my side for representing us. I've had the very special privilege of being able to attend the 3 last IFSS symposia, and it's been an incredible experience for me, learning from the youth in forestry, and I'm really sorry not to be able to do so this time round. Thinking back on these meetings, perhaps for me most memorable was the meeting last year, because that was held in my home country, South Africa. In fact, I'm speaking to you from South Africa in this video. Some of you that were there will remember our special gala dinner that we held. It was a sheep barbecue, and it was a very exciting and fun experience. And we had the privilege of having the then Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Mr. Beck, speak with us. He's a very, very interesting man. And incidentally, he is now our new Minister of, well, you wouldn't guess it, police, and many of us think he's doing a very good job. So, important for me to say is how special the relationship is between IUFRO and IFSA, and it's gone back a very long time. And there are many great success stories that I could share with you. I'm not going to do that today because it'll take too long. Let me just mention a couple of successes and activities. Perhaps most importantly currently is the IFSA-IUFRO Task Force on Forestry Education. This is a topic extremely important to all of us, to you as students of forestry, and to those of us who are involved in leading forestry research globally. The task force has been hugely successful, so much so that the IUFRO board decided recently to allow the task force's second term. So in the second term that continues until October next year, the task force will take on some new and exciting tasks, and I very much look forward to hearing more of the outputs. I think back just to last year, 2 particularly interesting and important events. One was an event held here in South Africa, the Forestry Research Symposium held in Pietermaritzburg. Some of you were able to attend that meeting, and IFSA made a very profound impact on the outcomes of that meeting. And then, of course, IUFRO celebrated its 125th anniversary last year, and many of you were involved in that remarkable occasion, our anniversary meeting in Freiburg. IFSA had many roles in the meeting, and that was really important to forestry and the future of forestry research. And I'd like to thank all of you that were involved in that particular event for the effort that you made. It was something very, very special. Thinking about 125 years, many of you will know, and some of you will not know, that IUFRO is the oldest international research organization in the world. And that makes it also very special. Other events that are particularly important, or issues that are particularly important that come to mind right now are, for instance, our efforts to promote educational opportunities and exchange globally. And this is currently packaged in what we call the IUFRO-EFI, or European Forest Institute, IFSA exchange program. It's just got started, it's already having significant outputs, and I'd encourage you all to find out more about those opportunities for international exchange. In terms of other engagements, IUFRO funds various activities in IFSA, and will continue to do so as much as we possibly can. And for myself, personally, as the president of IUFRO, it has been a particular privilege to be able to put money into funding into the IFSA IUFRO Task Force on Forestry Education. Understandably, because that money comes from the South African side, from the South African government, it comes to me as a grant. That money needs to be earmarked for activities pertaining to or enhancing forestry education in the world, but also with an African perspective. And I've recently asked that you think those responsible think about activities that we might fund this year and for which we can report this year, and then also next year. So do come up with some ideas. You're meeting in Mexico, and that is remarkable too. It's a milestone event, a game changer. We're concerned, always concerned about being globally representative, and areas such as Latin America, parts of Asia and Africa are not as well represented as we'd like to have them be in terms of forestry research. So your meeting in Mexico is really important, and in some ways also leads up to another remarkable event for IUFRO, and that is the fact that we are going to have our World Congress in Latin America next year. That is our World Congress to be held in Curitiba in Brazil. And I really hope that many of you will be able to attend that meeting. There are opportunities for you to do so. You should seek those opportunities. Talk with colleagues, talk with your supervisors, your professors, and encourage them to help you to get to that meeting. It's going to be a very, very special event. Not only because it's the first time that IUFRO will meet for a World Congress in Latin America, but also because it brings together many, many people, probably in the region of 2,000 to 3,000, interested and concerned about forests and forestry from all over the world. It reminds me, just mentioning this reminds me of the fact that there is also an opportunity for you to nominate students for our Excellence in Forest Research Awards. There will be 3 of them. So talk to your colleagues and find out how you do this, and come on board and nominate colleagues, because that will also enable not only some really special people to be recognized, but also people to get to our meeting in Curitiba. And I think I've said enough at this point. It's wonderful to be able to speak with you, not in person, but at least to share some ideas with you. I look forward to seeing many of you in Curitiba, also at other meetings around the world. IUFRO has between 80 and 90 scientific meetings every year all over the world. Some of you have the opportunities to attend those meetings, and where you're there and I'm able to attend, I look forward to seeing you. And I wish you all then a very, very successful symposium, and goodbye.
Pues a través de este cuerpo de trabajo que tenemos, pudiera ser que los estudiantes se involucren con las áreas regionales de la IFSA y ya lleguen a, siendo miembros, puedan tomar estos cargos de coordinación con nosotros. A la fecha nosotros lo que hacemos es que tenemos 2 representantes de IFSA en nuestro grupo de trabajo y ellos involucran a los demás estudiantes. Digamos que ellos son como nuestro link con IFSA en general. Son 2 en nuestro grupo de trabajo. También a otra manera de hacerlo a nivel Latinoamérica, y aprovecho la oportunidad para enviarles un mensaje a los estudiantes latinoamericanos, tenemos un estudio, hacemos investigación en competencias, estamos investigando cuáles son las competencias mínimas que debería de tener un ingeniero forestal o un licenciado forestal. Entonces ya tenemos 10 países en donde hicimos el estudio. Desafortunadamente solo hubo 2 países de Latinoamérica. Esperamos que en estos siguientes 2 años haya más estudiantes quienes se acerquen con nosotros y quieran hacer esta investigación en sus países. En realidad no es nada muy complejo, sí requiere tiempo y disciplina como todo, pero pudieran acercarse a través de Chaupea, a través de sus organizaciones regionales, o inclusive nos pueden buscar en nuestra página web y enviarnos un correo, y por supuesto que estaríamos encantados de tener la representación de Latinoamérica en este trabajo, máxime cuando también el Congreso Mundial de la IUFRO, se va a celebrar el año entrante en Curitiba, Brasil. Entonces creo que es importante que los estudiantes latinoamericanos lleven esa bandera, salgamos de nuestra zona de confort, nos arriesguemos a hablar inglés y pues estemos en esos lugares en donde se toman decisiones importantes en el sector forestal.
Well, after the kind words from our president, I would like to introduce you to the task force on forest education. It is the joint IUFRO-IFSA task force on forest education. It started in 2015. We started working from 2014 after the World Congress in Utah. It is composed of one coordinator from IFSA side and one deputy coordinator from IFSA side and one coordinator from IUFRO and a deputy coordinator from IUFRO. It's hosted, as I said, under the Division 6, Working Group 6.6 on Forest Education. Our two first years, the coordinators from IFSA change. We have Magdalena Lackner, probably many of you know her, and also Janice Burns for the very first 2 years. Last year, in the 125th anniversary, we submit a proposal for extension, and now we have 2 new coordinators from IFSA, Khalil Warhil and Ashley Led.
El sector forestal pues es un sector muy importante y que ha sufrido cambios drásticos en los últimos años, porque por un lado está la deforestación que necesitamos pues mitigarla, y por otro lado están los eventos de cambio climático que nos están pidiendo a gritos la conservación de los bosques. Pero también tenemos el problema de solucionar la pobreza, especialmente en Latinoamérica. Los bosques son fuente de ingreso para los habitantes de los bosques, valga la redundancia. Entonces tenemos retos, porque por un lado tenemos que conservarlos, pero por otro lado tenemos que utilizarlos para que sirvan como fuente de ingreso. Así que necesitamos buscar estrategias en las que podamos, que nos riñan la conservación con el manejo forestal. Alternativas de ingreso para las comunidades rurales, restauración forestal y bueno, darle un vuelco a la educación forestal, porque en general la educación en el mundo está cambiando por la entrada de los sistemas o de la tecnología, y obviamente el sector forestal no está excepto a estos cambios. Entonces como que necesitamos darle una mirada a los bosques diferente a la que tradicionalmente traemos, más holística, más amplia, y ver cómo los bosques realmente van a contribuir en el desarrollo de las naciones. Creo que eso es muy importante, y por supuesto no dejar olvidado que los bosques son nuestros sumideros de carbono más importantes, y pues tenemos que apuntar hacia trabajar a combatir el cambio climático o mitigarlo, adaptarnos.
And the future of the task force, of course, is to continue our research, as I mentioned before, to promote the use of the platform, the GFIS platform, to continue the working with the working practice tree and our divisions. For this year, we are very pleased to have 2 invitations, one in Moldova, one in Argentina, and also this one, that will be 3 invitations to bring some training to the students and to keep participating in IFSA events. And this is all I have. If you have questions, of course, I'll be very glad to answer to you. Thank you very much.